All right. Um, you know what's interesting is that we've just been told Guti, we shouldn't perform. But what I'm gonna be talking about. Oh my God. So, um, but just so that it doesn't seem like I'm talking about performance, let me just read one verse. John 13:35. In, um, it reads, "Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples." That's all. And at a later stage when Jesus prays, for me, that is the Lord's Prayer, John chapter 17. When Jesus prays there, he says, if anything, I pray that you would make them united. Right? And that unity is what's going to show that we are His. That's as much theology as I'm going to give you in this moment. Because, yeah, they made sure I don't do theological stuff. I'm just going to do a survey of finding out who we have in the room so that, let me check my time. My sister, I have until what time? My God. All right, 35 minutes. I'm going to do a survey quickly. How many singers do we have in the room? Singers? Just lift your hand. Don't be afraid. Of course, I'm going to ask you to sing, but it's okay. Uh, I need you here in this. How many singers? Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Lift your hands. Of course, I'm going to ask you to sing. That's what we're here to do, mas. No, just lift your hand if you're a singer. Guys, come on. I got to little workshop. All right. All right. How many sopranos? How many say, I am a soprano? You're sopranos. So, ngicela ama-soprano ahlale wonke. If you're a soprano, find the sopranos. Lift your hand. Okay. Ngicela nizohlala ngapha. And just sit here. I need more sopranos. I'm sure there's more sopranos. You know, there's sopranos in the world, and then there's lazy sopranos that claim ukuthi ma alto, but really they are sopranos. And if I make you sing, I'll know that you are a soprano. I just need a metronome. I think it's written here. It must have been written somewhere. There must have been metronome written somewhere. I think I saw it. It's that clap, 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 clap. I don't remember. I think I saw it. Maybe not. Or did I see it? I don't know. No, I actually wanted. I just want that counting thing. If you can find it on a phone, yes. Sopranos. So I'm assuming that if you're here, you're a soprano. You're not a soprano, unless you are an amazing contralto. Yeah, there are very few in this world. Keith is one of them. Come this side. Come this side. So it's sopranos only here. No? Sopranos? No? Yes. Okay. Altos? Altos, ngicela nize ngapha. Alto is if you're an alto. This world is full of altos. Or lazy sopranos. And then altos. Lady, you're an alto? Yes, come sit here with the altos. And then tenors right at the back. If you're a tenor, sit right at the back. And then, if you are not a singer, if you play an instrument, lift your hand. If you are not a singer, it's the two of you, gents. Come sit here in front with me. Yeah, it's that one. Yes. No. Take it down a little. Take it down a little. All right, are these the only instrumentalists we have in the room? We have Keith, who's also an instrumentalist. Are you guys the only instrument players? No one else plays an instrument here? Okay. Pastor Casey, you play guitars? No? Okay. All right, take it down. Maybe take it to 80. Take 80 maybe, or maybe even lower. I don't know. I'll tell you just now. Maybe lower. Where are you now? 80. Go to 70. Well, if my time runs out, it's not my fault. Maybe even lower. 65 or 64, somewhere there. So, 60. Can I get Ilogla as well? Please push me here. I just need to check something here. Oh, you closed the volume. Where are you? 60 now. Try 55. All right. While he's sorting that out. So, I didn't know what to call this session, so I called it practical session, this and that, about this and that. Because we might not be able to get through. Yeah, play that. Yes. So we might not be able to get through my entire session, but hey, if we workshop one thing and we workshop it well, it'll help you. I also want to check relatively the scope of the worship teams that you are part of in terms of scale. How many people, more or less? Sisi, how many people worship team? About 10. How many singers? 7 then instrument players. Anyone else who knows which other church is here? Someone who knows how many you are? So I'm trying to figure out if we're relatively dealing with smaller worship teams, right? Because that's also a very important thing. So, first slide. So, I might just end up here, and that's okay if that is where I end up. One thing that is going to be absolutely vital in your worship journey, especially as developing teams. In fact, I learned this much later in my worship leading or leading worship teams, that what we should have started with was the thing that unites us, right? And I'm not talking about now the hard matter, right? I'm just talking about what unites our sound. I can tell when people are not sonically united when I listen to them. Right? And there are so many layers to sounding not the same, but one. The point is that if we are a team, it means we must sound like one. Right? And when I discovered this, I did this exercise every single day we met. Because not only is it developing your musical ability or cleaning up your ear, it is dealing with your heart. you would be shocked as to how much of us sounding like one sits on humility. You would be shocked. Because naturally, we want to stand out. We might not agree to this, but that's, in essence, what humans have been trying to do ever since Adam sinned. Humans have been trying to stand out. So anything that seeks to bring us together and you disappear into the group often causes problems. I can tell you now, go to any worship team and ask them what their problem is. Regardless of what angle they will come from, it will come down to this one thing, that people want to be seen. Yeah, whether you're coming from, they hurt me. The root of that, because if you are going to hold on to offense, it means value you want to stand out. Right? Because going to your brother and saying, you offended me here, and you squash this thing, it means you form a part of the one again. But if you're holding on to offense, you become the odd one out. And we like it there. Yeah, we like it there by offense. We like it. So humans have always wanted to stand out. What the enemy sold to Adam and Eve was that, so humans and God are like this. But he sells that you can be your own God. In other words, you can separate from this guy and be self-sufficient. So, the point I'm trying to make is that this word is going to be absolutely, imperatively, completely, I don't know, what are other synonyms you can give me? This is going to be so important to your worship team, to the future of your worship team. This word, blend. I don't even know how to emphasize it. It's going to be everything. So a blend is a mixture of different substances. But here's what's key, is that these substances give up their individuality for the purpose of the one. This will be the foundation, the walls, the roof of your worship team. If we are able to give up our individuality for the purpose of working the one, we're going to succeed. I can promise you. And I'm going to do a musical exercise that will teach us this. And, Bon, if you do nothing else in your development era, do this one thing. This exercise, and you can find, any other thing or any other method to do it, but it must just achieve this one thing. One sound. Before we can talk about harmonies and all of this and all of that, we must talk about, push to the next slide. We must talk about unison. This is going to be the most important thing you will ever sing or play. I don't know how to emphasize unison. Is that if we are going to learn harmony, if we're going to learn how to mesh band and singers and how the music team will mesh with the congregation, it is that we are going to have to make sure that this is our top priority. Go to the next slide. So this is kind of my breakdown of unison, is that we do the same thing. So we know, sing, play what? Same thing. This is very key. This is absolutely key, which means the sopranos. I often hear people saying, but I'm a soprano, I can't sing tenor. I don't know it. It means so what am I saying? I'm saying if we have a song that we are going to put on the floor, what is the first thing we should do? The question we should ask is, what is the melody of the song? Not what is the guitar playing, not what is the alto singing, no, what is the melody of the song? Don't come to rehearsal, lungayazi melody yengoma. If you're going to rush to your harmonic part before you go to the unison, you don't know the song. And I'm even talking to instrument players. Don't know the chords, know the melody. I'm not even going to mention lyrics there by the band players. I'm not yet going to go there. That's another workshop on its own. Right? Do what? Know the song. In other words, there is no part in the melody line. Because, guys, we build everything around this one thing, around the melody. Everything, chords, harmony, all of those things are built around this one thing. What? Melody. So, I used to in my previous life, I used to train singers, right? I mean gospel singers. Black gospel singers. It makes it even trickier, right? Because every time I trained a white gospel singer, they cared about the melody because they are limited on the creative side. So they will just sing the melody. The black folks, because how we have worked or structured our worship teams is that it has a lead singer who sings the melody up till a certain time. In fact, sometimes they don't sing the melody. Let me give you a typical example. Who knows Sodi Mahlangu here? That is not the melody of the song. That is an ad-lib. That is not what we're singing. The melody of the song. Yes. Yes. Another struggle song, or maybe an old song. This is not the melody of the song. So how I should be starting the song is Balami Donyu Ganalo Ingene Endumi Swe. Then I can call you. Do you see what I'm trying to get at? So the challenge would be, with the singers I'm training, is that they know the ad-libs of the song. And as a result, if you're going to learn how to sing by learning ad-libs, all the technical aspects of singing you don't know. The first thing that I realized that they can't hold a note long enough. So what I did is I took songs that have a lot of lyrics. Because here by the black gospel side, we sing 2 lines. Right? It changed my life, I promise you. Because I've led worship in a predominantly white community and came from a black community. When I started leading worship in a predominantly white community, it changed my singing altogether. Because I had no space to do this. Then I learned that my technique is so flawed, it's not even funny. I actually can't sing. So many of us have actually sung ad-libs and we thought we could sing. Every time, and again, Bob Soli Mahlangu, God bless him. He's a legend in this country, for real. One thing that I noticed that he did, because he doesn't sing the melody, how he pitches the song is so high that he can't sing it himself. Yeah, all he can do is shout through the song. Right? Now I just stop, sing in that range and just sing the song. He won't because it's so high. And one thing that is very popular here by the black worship teams is that we like singing high. You don't think you're singing unless, yeah. So, I'm running out of time. So I was trying to emphasize the importance of knowing the same thing, singing the same thing, playing the same thing. Right? Sopranos, are you guys ready for me? So we're going to take something really popular. Let me put it in the key of. Yeah. So all the ladies in the house, né? One, please play that click. So the first thing, keep playing it, that you should internalize is what? The time that we are in. What time are we in? Right? You must internalize that. This is really boring. But if you begin to realize that nothing happens unless we have time, you will see the importance of time. It's awkward. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to internalize. But here's what's tricky. After I give you this 30 seconds, you're still going to sing out of time. Stop it. And here's another thing. When we are workshopping a note, we stop and focus on the note. When I am singing the note, you are quiet. Don't sing it with me, otherwise you're not hearing me. Oh, I don't know if I'm making sense here. A lot of the times, when we are workshopping a point, and I'm like, nah, nah, now you're like, but I'm like, you have been singing the note wrong. So this time, you must be listening, because it's not, I don't know how to explain this. A lot of times, when a section is singing a note wrong, and we say, hold on, listen to the note. Now we like, no, I said listen, not sing. Because primarily you sing with your ear. If you haven't heard it well, forget about singing it well. So in other words, the songs you are sent by your worship leader, what you should prioritize first and foremost is not practicing the song, is listening to the song. Play that thing again. So, 1, 2. Oh. Oh. Pele. Yeah? Oh. Oh. Someone is already harmonizing. You get it, ne? It's human nature. It is human nature. It is that when we have a cause put on the table, you are going to go your own direction. Because we like comfort over union. So you already thought, okay, I need to find an alto part here. But that's not what we are doing. Right? Oh, ladies. Oh, ladies, sing with me. 2, 3. Oh. Okay. What's your observation already here? Stop. What is your observation? Someone lift your hand and just tell me what you observed. It's that the phrase does not end at the same place. Already. Right? So what are we doing here? We are in the process of elimination. What are we eliminating? Your idea of what we're doing. You get this, ne? This is why unison is absolutely important. It is that, if you know, there's a coach called Jose Mourinho. He says about Ronaldo, he says, I can't tell Ronaldo how to play, but I can tell him how to play in this team. Okay, it went over your head. Because every team has a way of play. Is that you might be great on your own. What you are doing is a right on your own. But in the collective, it is not. So what should you be learning? Is that we must determine where do we finish the phrase. You know why you didn't finish the phrase at the right place? It's because you were not listening to me. You nitpicked what you wanted to hear in what I was singing. When I said sing, where did you go? Where you felt was the right place. So unison is the process of elimination. We are trying to eliminate individuality or ism. For what? I used to do this when I was a worship leader by positioning. Every time we would sing a song with the worship team and they were not getting their parts, you know what I would say? I would say it's not that you don't know the part. It's that you have not agreed on the part. So take 30 minutes, agree on the part. When they come back, they have agreed where they are lending, where they are breathing, where they are singing, where they are not. So some of these things are not, the problem is not that you can't sing. It is that you can't sing together. So what should we be figuring out? How to sing? So we must know what? Know the same thing. I'm going to sing that line again. Right? Hopefully your listening is better this time. Play it again. Oh, oh, one more time. Oh, oh, ladies, 2, 3. Stop it. Do you see how difficult this is? It is so difficult to get in unison. So what becomes the objective? The objective is we must work out the technicalities around the song. So let's count. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the one we cut. I'll tell you, it's going to make so much difference. Let's play it again. 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Cut. I tell you, it's going to make so much difference. Go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Pick up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes? No one is left behind. Did you hear that? Yes. Stop it. So what are we saying here? Is that we must then find a central point. And all of us must acclimatize to what the central point is. And this might come through a leader, this might come through a consensus, depending on what the dynamic in your worship team is. But what I'm trying to say is find what your central point is. So what I'm trying to say again is that we might know the song, but have heard it differently. Right? And because what we're doing in church is that we're doing covers of this song. Right? So, reckless love. If we agree on using a different word, we know the song. We have preferences on the song. But if what we agree on here is using beautiful over reckless, we are using beautiful. No one's going to go to hell. We will be fine. We will all be fine. We'll be fine. So, if you do nothing else in your formative years, do this one thing. Sing unison. As much, as long as... Oh, guys, I don't know how to communicate this. Unison will change the sound of your band completely. When we're playing with a band, they must play the same thing, not chords. Da do de do. What we are trying to determine is that are we hearing the same thing the same way? We can't add any other thing unless we have settled on this one thing. And the more you do it, the quicker the process becomes. Why? Because I'm starting to learn ukuthi uzibani banyana behave njani in a song. And another thing we are learning is that as per the songs that we are going to be doing, if there are 3 tenors, there's usually a tenor that is more fitted for the song. Texture. Texture yabo fits the song so much more. So what we do is they are the lead tenor. In other words, everybody must do what? Try and find the texture. It might not be completely there, but everybody is functioning in support of the texture we have determined is the one we want to use. So for this song, a certain alto might be the one that we're like, And now, what does this do now? It affects everything. It affects even how the guy mixes the song. Right? Because as we are rehearsing, he is rehearsing with us. As we are making these notes, he is making the notes. Which I know on song 3, that is the more prominent tenor. That is the more prominent instrument. But none of this can ever be a discussion unless we've done this one thing and done it well. What? Unison. Forget harmony. Forget ad-libs. Do we know the song the same way? And unison is breathing at the same place, saying the same words the same way. So now we haven't added words here. Imagine when we add words, is that adds a whole new dynamic to the blend. A whole new dynamic to the blend. Can we try that again? Please play that. Ready? 1, 2, with the gents. 2. Oh. 2, 3. Two. I'm gonna count for you. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you run out of air before then, you are the problem. So now, so unison also will expose our technical ability. Yeah. Let me show you how difficult it can get. Where are we? 55, right? Let's go to 53. Yes. Yeah, you play the same melody because another thing that is very tempting is, first and foremost, is that melody, especially as band people, we are not very, as a keyboard player or as a guitar player, like, I'm just going to play the chords, they're going to. One thing that's more tempting is you become so much more anxious when you're playing the melody. Just that can get you terribly anxious and boring. But the point is not that we're testing how well you play, is how well do you know the song. Right? So everybody, bass player, guitar player, everybody must know the same melody, the same way, with the same accidentals, with the same rests. I promise you, my brother. You see, it's a boring exercise, but it does this with your team. It does it. Before you know it, you know the song so well that when we start adding the spice, play them. And you need a lot of humility to be able to do these things. Imagine, because skill-wise, we are not on the same plane. Yeah. Imagine being a little ahead skill-wise. You're like, this is terrible. What am I doing here? That is also telling us where you are at in terms of being a part of this team. But that's not what we're discussing right now, is it? This is going to, as we slow this down, it's going to expose some of your technical abilities. So, 1, 2, 3. Sharp. So, see, when it comes to blending, it's something you will never be done doing. Here's another thing. There are people that are going, oh, that is naturally where you default. We can always find something that is off in our unison. Always. Always. So what point am I trying to make? Is that our unity in terms of sound will be something that we will never stop working on. Ever. You can never be perfect at unison, but you can get better. You can get better. So what begins to happen, even from the band end, it is that anything that becomes a discussion is that we are sure that everybody knows the same thing the same way. Oh, how many times I've gotten to a rehearsal because my ear works well, and I've just heard the song there by the streets. Or I listen to it on my way to rehearsal. But because my ear works well, and I don't have the pressure of playing the melody, and then I get to rehearsal, and on that day, what we are playing requires me to play a melodical something. And all I knew was, I'm here to play chords. Oh, guys, can I tell you how testing this will be to your humility? It will be absolutely, incredibly testing. I did this exercise for a whole year, and it showed me who was a part of our team and who wasn't. Because I made this part the most important part of our rehearsal. And there are people that came because they knew. And I made it predictable on purpose. And the ones that were left, can I tell you that there were some people, guys, that the team I was leading was a mixture of elderly people, young people, talented people, not so talented people. And my aim was to produce one sound out of them. It was a mammoth task. It was terrible to do. But as these people grew together and began to understand one another's shortfalls, areas of strength, and being able to cover each other, this is all done by unison, just by singing unison. You can determine so much about being a team member that what begins to happen is that things that are now not sound begin to make it into the team dynamic. Is that you are able to now notice things that you were not able to notice about your neighbor. This helps you even to cover each other outside of just being a music team. Yo, guys, I don't know how I can explain how important this will be to your team. Do this exercise. As boring as it is, it will tell you who has the capacity to be a part of this team. There's an old man called Bra Eddie who's moved to the UK now. Man, Bra Eddie couldn't sing. No, like he was terrible. But he just loved singing, right? He loved singing. And I had a conversation with Bra Eddie. I'm like, Bra Eddie, you and I know where you are. And he's like, sure, I know, but I enjoy being here. I'm like, okay, sure. Let's hear what you have. And my goodness me, for 1 year, I just spoke to Bra Eddie on breathing and holding notes only. I said, Bra Eddie, if you check nothing for this session, just check holding this note. Okay. Bra Eddie's singing changed so much because we can never go over basics, guys. You can try going over them, but they'll catch up with you. So Bra Eddie's breathing ended up being better than the breathing of the talented ones in the group because they didn't take it as serious. Now, when I was making examples of Bra Eddie, who goes home and does what? Practices what I have given him. These ones are like, me. And I'm like, okay, let's sing the song. And as we sing, as I slow down tempo, Bra Eddie is able to hold, and the talented ones can't. And I'm like, the problem is not that you can't sing, is that you're not humble enough to consider others in the context of this thing. Is that if this one would sit and practice what we said they should check and you don't, what are you saying about them? What are you saying? See, it's got so many layers that if you get this one thing right, you will most probably get everything else right. When we get to harmony, and so we did this for a whole year. We had a worship event at the end of the year. I scheduled about 10 singers. And the song we started doing, I hope I can find that video one day. I'll send it to Themba or someone. And we opened that worship event just singing Unison. Oh, guys, I don't want to lie to you. What happened in that room, we could have just stopped on that day. It was not the voices. It was the hearts that were knitting together while we kept doing this Unison. It is that Bra Eddie could stand there and be a part of this sound. But if Bra Eddie had to sing alone, hey, it would be a problem. But now, because he's singing with us, who know Bra Eddie, how far Bra Eddie can go, where Bra Eddie is good, the guy mixing knows how much to give Bra Eddie. Oh, guys, Unison, just this one exercise. If you get nothing from my meeting, from my session today, get that you should do Unison more than any other thing. Get together, find a piece in a song, and just sing that song. It doesn't matter. Find a range that guys can sing in, everyone can sing in. Get a band. Let's do that one more time. I think I'm out of time, eh? Okay, yeah, maybe 5 more minutes. And then you see, I couldn't get far with this because we needed to talk about time signatures and rhythm, but another time. But it kind of speaks to the same thing. Play. 2, 3, 4, 1. Ready? 2, 3. Do we have the key? No? 1, 2, 3. Oh. My sister. What is your observation now? Since we started. It's that it's getting better. Yes. Yes. You are so much more aware of the person you are in this way. Guys, nothing more than be the Unison. When you see me say, that is the Unison guy. Because if you get this, everything else will be a walk in the park. Because what is happening now is that you are considering where the other person is going. Nastala, you just wanted to sing. Now you're like, hey, I can't be the other one out. Let me just find my space. I found my space. I have nothing else to say because if I go to the next slide, we won't finish. Can I leave it here? Okay. Yeah, because practically I have 6 other slides. Maybe let's go to questions. Questions? Yes, sir.
So I noticed, there's something else I noticed. When you did do you mind doing your...
Which one?
Which example you gave for soprano?
Two, 3. Yeah, that I did. Yeah. How, because vibrato is a nuance, right? It's not a thing you teach at the beginning. How football coaches teach this is by triangular forms, where you just pass the ball. What you are beginning to notice is the posture of the guy passing the ball. It's how they stand, how they kick it, how much they kick it, and all of those things. So the more we do unison, those things begin to solve themselves. Yeah, they begin to solve themselves, especially once we can determine what kind of soprano we are looking at, what kind of tenor we are looking at. They begin to solve themselves. You will see that vibrato, if it is a thing that your main tenor has, everybody begins to go towards that, right? Because it is a nuance. It is not unless it's a prominent thing in the song, right? Right now it's not. It's at the tip of something. And our listening is not the same, right? Because musically we're not on the same level. So what we're trying to do is get the guy who's here and the guy who's here somewhere in a space where we are all able to function. Guys, can I tell you, it is so important, especially in the context of the church, because humans are impressionable, right? We go to concerts, we watch Maverick City, it is so important to love what we are doing here so much that even the good things that we are seeing don't contaminate it. Because it's clear, the things that are wrong we are not going to bring into the space because they are shunned. But there are things that are good that could cause us a problem. Because it might be good, but not necessarily good for us. So also watch that. Watch that in my church planting journey, what I have learned is exactly that. Is that I must pick where I go, who I sit with, what I watch, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm impressionable. So I can put out a vision for the church and come back next week and change it. Why? Because I saw someone has lights that are coming from the left and ours come from the right. And now what it begins to do is it unsettles the people you're leading. It's like, he came from, and it used to happen to us. We used to have a pastor like that. We would go to this conference and I knew, on Tuesday, oh my God. Themba, did you see? I'm like, we don't have the capacity right now. There was 16 people on stage. It's like, if we could get that sound. I'm like, we have 3 people on stage. Right, so it's something that we should really watch. We should love what we are doing with the community we are doing it with. Another question? Yes, ma'am.
My question is on developing a new to be able to get to that unison?
Rehearsal and practice are two different things. So rehearsal has to have a cap, but practice doesn't. So you are coming to rehearsal, not to practice. You get what I'm trying to get at, né? So a rehearsal has to have a cap. It has to be 2 hours. And then in that 2 hours, if 20 minutes is what we use for unison, it's what we use for unison. But for you to get better at doing this 20 minutes well, you must go practice. Right? Because what does unison do? It exposes the things that you're not doing well. So you must go then and practice those things so that you can come back next week and do them well. So it saves us time, it saves us all of those things. One. Secondly, how you develop your musical ear is that you listen more. So, for some people, for us, say, because I've been doing this so long, I'm able in an orchestra of music to pick out a line, but some can't, right? So some, you are at your basics. For instance, there's a guy who is with us at the church. He's a part of the worship team. And when there's too much happening in the music, he goes off key. Talented. Goes off key. So what I said to him, I said, there is a program you can use that you can just play in your ears. When you're working, it's called, you can just go to your Google Play and just say interval apps or musical interval apps. So what it does is it just plays musical intervals. It will play one note and play another. It will play another note and play another. What is happening is that your ear, without you even knowing, is subconsciously absorbing this. The same thing with the rhythm. I say to them, go and listen to a metronome religiously. You want to learn to color up? Don't play music on that day. While you're cleaning, just play that thing in the background. What you begin to do is you begin to subconsciously absorb being a person who sings in time. Where your one is, you will fall there. You have this thing happening naturally in you. The problem is that we hate basics. We really hate basics. When I was in school studying music, what happened to me is I came from a church background. I knew chords relatively, right? And then what I would do is I would sit in class, and because my ear had been well trained, because when you are in church, as a township boy, you learn by ear. So I wanted to escape having to learn technique by just listening. And for a little while, I got away with it. And one day, a lady who now works at UP came and said, bro, can we do the same thing in another key? Oh my God. Now I knew the song, I didn't know the instrument. Because if I just practice the instrument, the song, I can play any song. But now I practice the songs. I didn't practice the instrument. And practicing the instrument meant sitting there and just doing this. For hours on end. See how boring that is? But I needed to do that so that I can internalize. Before you know it, it's this. See? It's a mess. But I need to keep at it. Before you know it, I've got it. So then she said to me, you can escape not knowing how to, you can pass a test not knowing the instrument, but it will catch up with you one day. And then she said, forget all you know and just go practice basics. Man, she changed my life. One conversation changed my entire life. And it is terrible because in a music school, there are people that are up here. And you have gone back here. So yeah, there are apps. One is you can just Google on your Google Play or iPhone people, terrible phone. iPhone people, iPhone. I want to start a war here. Yeah, you just type, maybe I can even type it in there. Yeah, I think I'm done. Oh, more questions. Okay.
I just want to ask, when we are singing, they
Yes.
say we must sing from the stomach.
Yes.
But now, maybe we have got young singers who are just joining. How possible, or how can I encourage them not to sing with the throat, but to sing through the stomach?
Encourage.
Yeah, to encourage them. Today I'm going to tell them you must sing with your stomach, but the next thing she's singing with the throat.
How, show me. How do you sing with your stomach? How do you sing with your stomach?
Not actually exactly. When you were talking about breathing in the air, it's like I'm singing through my stomach. But when I'm singing with the throat, it's like sometimes I cannot have that air. When you, it's a it's a very difficult thing though. Let me see.
How do you relate what you can show? It's a really tough thing. So, if you can't explain it simply or do it simply, you don't know it well enough. So, before we can even talk about how they need to sing through their stomach, or is that you must clearly define it. Yes. It's that you can't reprimand where you have not loved. You get that concept, right? I can't tell you, do this when I have not shown you. So what I'm trying to say is, go, study that well, practice it well, so that when you are relating it, the person listening, yeah, that's how you encourage them. Pastors will tell you, if things are going out of alignment, share vision again. If the pastor doesn't share vision well, things go out of alignment. So which means you must know this thing so well. And then you're like, come here. I see you're doing this. Show them the wrong way and show them the right way. Show them the wrong way, show them the right way. Show them the wrong way. Before you know it, you're just showing them the right way because they don't want to go to the wrong thing anymore. I think I've answered you then. Yeah, I put responsibility on you because you wanted me to do your job. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else, Pastor?
So how do you instill humility and discipline in a...
Yeah, that is a pastoral matter. It's not a musical matter. No? Yeah, me as a worship leader.
But for the most part, the dynamics are
Mixed.
when the pastor is not even there.
Yeah, are mixed. The dynamics are mixed for the most part. The worship pastor is usually the worship leader, right? That's what you say. Is that you instill it? You know how Marines work? Is that everybody goes left? If you go to the right, I don't know if I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Is that humility in itself is something that the person should do themselves. We can't. So it's hamba nezhambayo. Ezingahambi azingahambi. That's my method. That's where I function from. I will love you, I will encourage you, I will ask you, but there will be a time where I'm like, Ish, this is now delaying our process. Because these three are going, and you insist on not coming. And usually it's the talented ones who insist on not coming to that level. Yo, we can do without you. No, we can. We love you. We love you so much. We would love to have you on stage. Oh, we are so much better when you are with us. But we can do without you. Yeah. Being a pastor, you follow up. I'm like, okay, I think it's okay now. Anyone else? Oh my God. You lie. Fala, what's fala, my friend? I don't know what fala is. Oh, fala in Versace. Yeah. And it was a part of my, but yeah. You can get the, also, it's not even detailed, but yeah, ask your question. Yeah. Communicate with one another or communicate with the congregation? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Communication can be handled off stage, right? Especially if we don't have things like, what do you call this? Empty mic and blah, 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 blah. We must determine off stage what we're going to do on stage, right? And sometimes there are things that can be done with signs, right? So, yeah, so if you not all the way there technologically, communicate as much as you can off stage. To say, when I do this, when I do that, when I do this, before you know it, they know when, for instance, I stand, because I used to be the worship leader of some of these guys that are, because they've dealt with me so much, that when they know my facial expressions, when either the harmony is not going well or you guys chose the wrong key, they just know, yay. You know, so those are also nuances that come with spending time with each other. But if you haven't gotten to the place where you have comms that are in your ears, communicate as much as you can. There's nothing that is too small to communicate. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, can we put our hands together one more time for Pastor Themba? There was just one recap there. Unison. Eat, breathe, sleep, dream it, wake up, do it and keep doing it. Right? Okay, great. So we're going to move on to our last session for the day. And it's coming from Pastor Keith. Shall we put our hands together for him as he comes up? Thank you. Woo! Okay, so Pastor Keith is getting his materials ready for us. And while he does that, earlier on, Pastor Ken spoke about us worshiping God, how he wants to be worshipped. And there was a guy who went to a church and he loved the church. He got born again at the church. And then the church said, man, at this church, this is what we do, this is what we don't do. And one of the things we don't do is we don't eat pork, right? And he loves pork. He loves it. And he has a lot of pigs at his house as well. And they went and they baptized him at a river somewhere in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You're baptized. Today you are a new creation. You are no longer Saul, you are now Paul. He went home and he looked at his pigs. And he thought about the church rules now that said he cannot have pork. And he took one of his pigs to that same river where he was baptized. And he said, river, pig, today I baptize you. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, you are a new animal from today. You are no longer a pig, you are now a fish. And he went home, slaughtered his fish, and started eating. So let's not do that, never. Let's not worship God how we want. Amen.